Kinderlach! Good morning, Rabbi Sai! Gewaldig! Welcome to all the guests. I'm just thinking how they just cut it, and now they're saying, okay, MDY completely lost it. They have no shaykhs. Okay, MDY official edition, Mesechtes Brochayros. Thank you. Avi Kamiansky, the Mesechtes sponsor. So Avi went to Reb Chaim Kanievsky a bunch of years ago with his daughter, right? You didn't go with the daughter, but it was about Esti, and Esti needed a cochlear implant, and Reb Chaim Kanievsky told him, learn B'chayros. So he thought he meant like 1 or 2 dapim in B'chayros. So he kept on pushing. He says, no, from beginning to the end and in the middle also. So he says he learned the Masechta, and Baruch Hashem, Esti is mamish ke'echad b'nei adam. She hears, she converses in loud places, like you can't tell b'chlal. So, it's a neis nigla. And you wrote a sefer on hearing and the whole thing. So B'chayros has a makam in your heart. Masechtas B'chayros, we wanna thank those few sponsors that dropped out to make room for you. Yishkoyach. Just a few dapim left. Rabbi said, just a few dapim left. Sponsored today. You know what? B'chayros has a big part in Noam Fix's heart. He worked on it from beginning to end. Shamshi too. Yeah. So that's part of the reason. Gewaldig. Mesechtes B'chayros dapim just yesterday sponsored by Eli Eisenstein, Tzvi Jacobs, Avram Tikotsky, the famous Avram Tikotsky. Does Dailam remember who Avram Tikotsky is? The first day of COVID, he gave me that gorgeous picture, a painting, a very expensive painting, came to my door, uplifted my spirits. Kobe and Eti Moses, Perry Miriam Moses. Rabbi said, less than 2 weeks from now, we're going to the Dead Sea for Shabbos Avdachas. We took the entire hotel, the Malone Royale. Rav Gav is going to be speaking in English.
No, he didn't make the cut yet in the picture.
Yeah, he's not in the picture. Could you imagine how many people, I mean, if he didn't make it on the picture, can you imagine how chashuv it is? The G'dayli Olam are not in the picture, and he's coming. I went to a guy's chasana. I don't know his name. I never knew his name, and I still don't know his name. What's his name? Yudah Fisher. He got married last night. He said that the daf changed his life. In many ways, I don't know that I'm allowed to say how and where. We went to his chasana. He was so excited that he walked us out, the 3 of us. We went 3. Yaakov Shafnes is all the way, Baruch Shafnes is his brother, all the way to the right, and Benny Rodnik to my right. And he left the hall. He just kept on walking us towards the car. And it was a beautiful, beautiful scene. Rabbi Isai, similar to the nace of the Rosh Hashiva that had a kid when he was 88 years old, Reb Tzika Shalevsky. So I heard, Machari Pargad, I'm saying this first here, that Reb Nachman Seltz is writing a book. I'm not joking. This is not the same, but it's a nace nigla, a 37-year-old, who, a big part of this year, Eli Geller, got married last night. Listen to this. He's such a big part of MDY that he gave a bracha to the MDY representative that came to the chasana. Check this out. This is him singing. Oh, it's my favorite song for now. But check this out. Mark Ashkenazi. Mark, got a bracha. It's happening now. He's there. Is he on? Can we get him on? Is Shalom Rand on or somebody? Somebody get Shalom Rand on. You have Shalom Rand's video thing? Call him up. Somebody call him.
Why'd you mention him?
What? No, it's a big nace, Bevis. It's a big, he was single for a very long time. He went to the Rebbe Rebbe. It's a whole long story. I can tell you afterwards. Okay. There's a book that's going to be written about this. Moshe Gutman, on May 6th, just a few months ago. Anu Tassim, Behem Tassim. He's on. Shalom, you still at the Chasana?
No, I'm not.
We're middle of Shir now, so if we're not... Say Shalom Aleichem to the Olam. Okay.
We're not at the council right now.
Do you want to schmooze now? Because I'm middle of shir.
Come on, why are we not for Eli Geller's wedding?
It's okay. All right. I'm planning to be Thursday morning at headquarters. You can add this picture. Okay, Moshe Gottman Yishkoyach. So we all know about David Salman. You're
not going to be at headquarters.
Hold on a second. Hold on. 1 second. What are you talking about? Okay. MDY in Miami, David Salman, a guy who gave a huge donation, and then he just called up like 2-3 weeks ago and said he wants to triple his donation. He's the only corporate sponsor. His donation was huge to begin with, the only corporate sponsor level, e-copier. Now he's starting something else. He's saying that whoever comes and finishes 31 days of Masechtas Tainis in his satellite location at Nix, $500 per bacher. And you could do just the regular share for 31 days, Tainis or the regular share. Here we go. Started last night.
First rain of the season.
It's for bacher. This is for bacher.
Terrible thing. Maybe Kiddush is already. People were in shortage. They come back into the stuff that I was do.
Okay. I said to myself, I'm doing something I've never done before. Never. David Salman, because of his support and how close we are, he's making a chasana this Wednesday night in Florida. I'm flying to the chasana and coming back 27 hours later. Wow. So I'll be back, Be'ez Hashem, Friday morning, leaving Tuesday night after the Hebrew Shir, right after the Hebrew Shir. It's an exception. Do not ask me to come to your chasana, even if you give $180 a month, or even if you give $180,000 a year. I can't go to people's chasanas. We're going to make an exception for Rebbe David. I hope the Olam understands. Got to Lake George, New York, looking for a minyan. First person I bumped into asked me if I was Paris Chaim Levin. With Shmuel Rubin from Albany. Yeshua Koyach. Beautiful. Help promote the Spanish shir with status clips in Spanish. They want to send out Spanish. Oh, I guess anybody could send it out. You don't have to be Spanish.
Shabbat, Onik. Es una mitzvah, leitaneg en Shabbat, tener cosas bonitas y cosas caras, gastar mucho dinero.
You know how hard it is for me to speak like that? I sit and I practice and practice. Rav David Weinstein, Shalom Aleichem, how are you? Long time no see. You still live in Chicago? Baruch Hashem. Gewaldig, Shalom Aleichem. Willie Achman, in celebration of my 58th Bar Mitzvah Shabbat and Lozi's engagement. Mazda of the Stefansky family, Willie Achman, Boca Raton. Yishkoyach Willie. Official edition MDY Shas, Masechta Zevin Yal Sholof Perik Shmini. Samlof, Pels, and Kende families, LLC, dedicated to the memory of Zechanishmas, Gershon ben Menachem, Yosef ben Tzvi Hersh, V'yitzchok ben Mendel, Aleim Shalom. Daf Kufta Zayin, anonymous from LA. Linishmas Dvoira Mina Bas David, thank you. David Salman, Mr. Anonymous from LA, if you're in Eretz Yisrael, how come you're not here in this year? I think it's him. David Salman, dedicated in memory of Avi Meir, Shmuel Baruch, Ben Reb Chaim Tzidoiv. David Salman. Politic Family Foundation, Me'ar Limud HaTorah. I called him up, I said, I'm thinking of coming. Usually I just surprise people. I said, nah, I'm going to call him up. He said, B'zeh Lashon. It's the first thing he came. He says, my father's nifter here. His father, Shmuel Baruch, Ben Reb Chaim, he says, you're my father right now. You're coming to the chasana, you're my father. Shkoyach, the whole thing. The Policy Family Foundation, Me'ar Limud HaTorah during the Chodesh Elul, bring us closer to you. May Geula V'Simcha. Anonymous. Hatzlacha Baruch Nis V'Gashmias, and thank you to Chief Benny. Why are you smiling?
Right to tell you to do
Yeah. I took the eitzes. There's other people that weren't so happy, but okay. Now it's complete refuah shleima and reichas yamim talei bas Esther, Chaim Leah Levi, Lidishmas Avi Meir, Reb Yosef Ben Nissen Zuchron Levroch. Anonymous. For my birthday in Eschus, Faslacha and my family, Brooklyn B'Gashmi, Shmili and Fegi Konig, in honor of Chaim Levi hosting MDY, will Haslacha b'chol ha'anyonim. That's Tzvi is refuah shleima to Rav Kanoma Besta Lisheva Patya, Arya Simon refuah shleima Avi Meiri, Baruch Ben Miriam. Weekly sponsors, Spanish year sponsors for Shlomo to Rabbi Yehuda Arya ben Toiba. Warren H. Feldman in merit of MDY's diligent work. Thank you. Simon and Diana Rosenfelder for speedy refuah shlema for Gabriel ben Toiba, injured in an accident. Anonymous, refuah shlema Etel Basmatel. Anonymous in schus that Shmuel ben Eliezer should be Matzliach, Amen. Mendel Jacobson in honor of Rebelli and Shlomi Klein. I don't know if Mendel Jacobson knew or doesn't know, but today is Shlomi Klein's birthday. I'm assuming maybe that's why he did that. He said in honor. He didn't say exactly what. So happy birthday, Shlomi. Mamash, a big, big part of MDY since the days of COVID, since when he was in the hospital and found us, when he was hooked up to all these machines. We have some Lubavitcher representatives here. What's your name? From where?
Miami, Florida.
Ooh, why are you so excited to be here? What's going on?
MDY.
It's like a kid in the World Cup, you're saying? Yeah, Lahavdil. The Chullin is on. Let's go. Eli! What, that's it? You're driving? Where are you? Where are you? You pulled over to the side? Baruch Sha'asa. At the right time.
He's married. He's married. He got his whatever.
No, hold on. This is very important. This is a nice nigla. This is a nice nigla. This is happening. Yes.
I'm on the way at the hotel. I pulled over to the side of the highway safely. I'm wearing a seatbelt.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for all the Torah you taught me. I'm up to date with you and Reb Shmuley. Daf Yomi. Tomorrow we're continuing nonstop.
Unbelievable.
Mark Ashkenazi got a bracha.
I showed it in Shir. Why do you give him bracha? Just curious.
Because I have a car society for the person who probably takes the most flack for MDY, but does the most for MDY, is dedicated, and he gives me the schus Torah, so he enables me to learn. I wanted to give him a bracha.
Wow. Mark takes the most slack from anybody in MDY, enables him to learn Torah. 1 minute. Shalom, I can't talk to you right now. You're not right to come into the Mikdash right now. Shasu Yain is awesome to come into the base of Mikdash. Bye. Zay gesund. I love you.
I didn't drink.
I know you didn't drink.
1 second.
Listen, Eli, you and your wife should be zoicha to build a bayis Nam Yisrael on Torah and Avodah. Zay gesund.
Thank you, everybody.
Zay gesund. Mark, first time you got a bracha in your life? Wow.
No hat.
You're one of the tallest people under the chuppah. I saw that. Gewaldig. That's what you're saying? You did something like this. Okay. Where are we holding? You were next to, you're right next to Bender. Rabbi Bender got a bracha there. We said this. Ari Stawis in celebration of her daughter Rivki's bat mitzvah. A boy say you could sponsor for daughters' bas mitzvahs and wives' birthdays. H for schus for Reb Yaakov ben Reb Shmuel Aryeh and the Torah Mishpacha. Asher Shapiro le'nishmas imi merasi arabanas atitkonis from Dvoyer Basar Rav Tzadik Reb Shmuel Mekozlov Zeichet Tzadik Levrocha. Rav Tzadik Reb Moshe Mekozlov Zeichet Tzadik Levrocha. Arbinit. Mineral. Shalom. The anonymous for the follow the daf. L'refuah shlema Yisomer Ephraim ben Chai Blima month. Rachel and Alex Katz in honor of their beautiful children. May they grow navas at Torah in Yerushalayim. Who?
Alex's brother.
Alex. Oh. Wow. You drove him in today?
Yeah.
What happened to the? You're the pinch hitter. Unbelievable. Freddie Friedman, in support of this groundbreaking initiative, with credit to Mati Belsky for changing the landscape for Shidduchim. I'm sure Doyle wants to hear an update.
Yes.
These are real numbers. Until now, they were fake. No. Over 3,000 resumes. Over 30, but this is from Mati's mouth, not mine. I'm not adding or taking off anything. Over 30 couples going out actively. Yesterday alone, 11 couples went out. Couples. Some on 5th and 6th dates. Some actually broke up. But it's moving. HYK Ventures, Emirates, for a successful year ahead for all our clients, is the Koil sponsor for the day. 1 day at a time. Month, Innovations LLC, As a schus v'akiva simcha ben Feiga and Rivka Yudis Bas Yavachaya and our kids too, I'm waiting for the day that the sponsorships are going to be longer than the entire share. It's almost there. Anyway, all right. L'rfu Shleima Meir Shoshana Bas Sarah Rivka, l'rfu Shleima Mordechai ben Esther, l'rfu Sayel Daniel Zev, ben Ayel Esther Boisa. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're finishing off the sugya of Ma'atzad, Tzad HaShava, and that's going to end somewhere, let's call it 15 lines from the top of Kufta Zayin. And then we have Agadata, certainly compared to the Ma'atzad sugya. Yesterday we were learning about how do you know that Basar B'chalav is Asar B'hana. So we learned from Arla. Arla, the first 3 years of a tree, you can't benefit from it at all. Says the Gemara, how can you learn from Arla? Now if you stop over there, that's one limud. Basar B'chalav to Arla. Almost like a Kal V'chomer, sort of. If Arla, it's Asar B'hana from the beginning, okay, Basar B'chalav certainly also. So the Gemara says, no. Arla is different because Ein Shas HaKosher was never mutter even for a moment, where Basar B'chalav was mutter in the beginning of its life. Meat is mutter, milk is mutter. If you combine the two, it's awesome. So okay, so we bring a raya from Chametz and Pesach. It has a Shas HaKosher. Chametz is also mutter to eat before Pesach, only when Pesach comes along. But it's a problem. Chametz is very, very severe. It has karas. So instead of going to Arla, we pick another thing called Kilei HaKerem. We're going to discuss this a little bit. What happens if you go back to Arla? What happens if you go to Kilei HaKerem? What do you gain by learning from a third thing versus going back to Arla? At this point, right over here, we could have just gone right back to Arla. Arla Yechiach, that there's no karas, and nevertheless, it's also Ba'ana. Instead of going back to Arla, which most of the time that's what we do, we go in a circle, we increased the size of the circumference over here, the size of the circle, and we introduced a new thing called Kilei HaKerem. I'm just curious what you guys think. Kilei HaKerem, you take 2 seeds, and you put them in the ground, and what comes out is Asr, Ba'ana. Is Kilei HaKerem something that had a Shas HaKosher, or something that didn't have a Shas HaKosher? In other words, was it Asr from the moment it was created, or there was a time that it was mutter? What do you say, of course?
Each one individually was kosher, just like basar.
Yeah, but do you start, here's the question, do you start from when it's a seed, or do you start from when it grows? Huh? Yeah, Arla also says, Ein Shas HaKosher, and the seed was mutter when you planted it. Was you allowed to eat it? It gives you something to think about. Okay, you're saying it's a brand new thing. You're saying it doesn't have a Shas HaKosher.
It has a Shas HaKosher.
No. No.
When it comes to certain size.
I don't think so. What? Okay, so, says the Gemara, just to take it back maybe a step or two. Where are you? Amalei Rav Mordechai Rav Ashi? Let's go to the first one. Let's go 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines from the top, from the bottom. We'll do it quickly, even if we did do it yesterday. Amalei Rav Ashi, Rav Mordechai Rav Ashi. This is what we said in the name of Rish Lakish. Kol me'atzad migufei barchinon. You want to ask me a question. You want to say, bring in nevela. Yesterday we were talking about nevela. Nevela will prove to you that what? It's also to eat a nevela, but it's mutter ba'ana, so it should ruin everything, this whole circle. So he says, no, you can't bring a raya from an outside source. Kol me'atzad migufei barchinon me'al malei barchinon. This Gemara is very yisodistic for all of Shas, because most Masechtas have, 1 or 2 dapim that discuss a Ma'atzad and the Limudim. Some people love it, some people not so much. But that's part of Shas, is learning the Limudim. Over here, it's maybe the only time that the Gemara goes into the rules, how these Limudim work. So it's Kedai maybe to remember, Chullin Daf Kuf Tazayin. Today is Kufta Zayin. Yeah, it's in the nature of a Rosh Koilel. I get it. It's in your nature. Yesterday, today. Stay there. I love you. Oh, sorry.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't want to be distracted. If you could ask a question from within them itself and say, oh, this one has this problem versus that problem, great. You don't bring in an outside thing called nevela and say, oh, it's mutar b'hana, but it's also b'achila. Says the Gemara, okay, I don't understand why you jumping to Kilei HaKerem. Why don't you just learn directly from Arla here, like on the right side, on the left side in this case, on the left side. We started Basel Chol on top, we went to Arla, we had a problem with Arla, so we went to Chametz. We had a problem with Chametz, go back to Arla. Arla doesn't have the problem of Chametz. Arla doesn't have the kares that Pesach has. And you go around in a circle. Why do we have the one on the right, which sticks in another one called Kilei HaKerem? So the Gemara Mishum Dekel Mivrach Malat Tzad Shav Shabem Shekain Gidulei Karka. If we only had two, you'd say, oh, those two have something special. They're different, very different. They grow from the ground. Now, if you think about it, they grow from the ground. So what? If you tell me this has kares, okay, I get it. Wow, this is a very powerful thing. It has kares. Chametz has kares. It grows from the ground. Why is that something special? So it makes it different. So you're going to see there's a pircha koldu. There's a little push. You give it a little push to the side. Oh, you know what? Arla grows from the ground. No, and this one grows in the air, and this one comes from an animal. So what? Why is that a maila? So we'll say we'll give it a pircha koldu. If it's two, maybe we'll give it a pircha koldu. Malat tzad shav shabem sheken giduli karka, grows from the ground. You're not making any sense. What did you help? Why is the one on the right stronger than the one on the left? The one on the left, you have only two components. You're learning basar chol from two things, Arla and Chametz. And Arla and Chametz both grow from the ground. Pizza grows from the ground, and trees grow from the ground. So that, I could throw that off. So in Mela, I introduced Kilei HaKerem. Kilei HaKerem also grows from the ground. What did you gain? And the Gemara explains what I gained. You know what you gained? You gained another number. Now you're learning the top from three things versus from two. When you learn from three, it's different than when you learn from two. That's what the Gemara answers. It's a stronger limud. To break it, you need a very powerful pircha. You can't just, this is a kind of a joke pircha. Not a joke, like a very weak. Mamsha brush off. It grows from the ground. So what? Yishkoyach, it grows from the ground. Why is that a maila? You tell me something has kares. You tell me it doesn't have a shasa kosher. It was never kosher for a moment. Great. You tell me it grows from the ground. This is what they say from Shlosh. If you're going around in a circle like these guys, it's a ma'atzad, you want to learn from a combination of things. You're learning from Arla, but Arla has a little bit of problem. So then we bring in a fixer called Pesach. Pesach has a problem. And you go in a circle, that's a ma'atzad. So that I could get rid of a pircha koldu or nothing. Loy mamarta. But now if you stick in something called loy mamarta kilayim, you stick on kilayim. The only way you could slug it up is if you bring something they say, no, this is stronger, this has kares, or it's weaker. Just the fact that it grows on the ground doesn't work now. As the Gemara, at the end of the day, all of them do have one thing in common. They all grow on the ground. So let's use that. And now the Gemara tells us we're going to tighten up our rules. I mean, if I were to ask you, stop logic, let's use the common sense now. If I learn A from B, what's stronger? I learn A from B or A from B and C? Oh, even the way I asked it wasn't good. I gave it away. Let's do it the opposite. If I learn A from B or I learn A from B and C, what's stronger? What's a stronger limud? I learn from one thing or I learn from two things? Two things, l'chayra. And the Gemara here says that's the opposite. Why is it the opposite? Because it doesn't work with common sense, or works with what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said on Har Sinai when He gave us the rules. And here are the rules. If I learn one thing from the other, which is basically a kav chaymer, Like if you remember, all in the beginning we learned basar b'chalav from Arla. It's one thing. I'm learning milk cooked with meat from Arla, which is asabano. So now it's very, very strong according to the Torah. I need something very strong to say, oh, Arla didn't have a shasa kosher. It was never mutter for a second. That's a strong pircha. But a simple thing, oh, Arla grows in the ground, and basar b'chalav doesn't grow in the ground, wouldn't work in this case. That's why we didn't use it over there. We didn't say, oh, Arla grows in the ground, because I need a strong pircha. However, the
pircha is to take away the comparison.
Yeah, you want to compare two things. You say, no, you can't compare them. Well, what's the comparison? This has wings, this doesn't have wings. That's not a good pircha. That's a mitzias.
That's not a good distinction.
Right. That's called a pircha koldu. But if you tell me, no, here's the distinction. This thing is so severe that from the moment it was born, you couldn't eat it. So now it makes sense that you can't have hana from it. It actually has to do with hana. The fact that it grows on the ground has nothing to do with asur b'hana, not asur b'hana. It's just a distinction between two things.
It's a distinction without a difference.
This is a real difference. I'm telling you a lamdish difference. This is something that was created be'isr, whereas basar b'chalav is a weak thing. I took two mutter things, put them together. Why should it be asur b'hana? So if I learn chadim etarti, I feel called b'china. Then, and this, like I said, it's a halacha l'mish resina. It doesn't make sense, but that's how it is. I learn one from two, then I could say, oh, it's a geduli karka. What about chadim etlas? Like in our case. Now we just threw in a third thing, chametz and kilei kerem. So it's one, I'm learning the top guy, basar b'chalav, from three different things, arla, chametz, kilei kerem. If you're going to go around in a circle, you're going to keep on saying, well, this one has a chisar, and so I'll fill it in from this. And this one has a chisar, fine. Then I can knock it out with the gedulei karka answer. The Gemara asked the question, how come you don't say all three have gedulei karka? The three bottom guys, arla, chametz, kilei kerem, have gedulei karka. It doesn't work in this case. Why? Like in our case, that we're not going back in a circle. I'm just using kilei kerem as the right. Kula v'chumer parchinon, kol dehu loy parchinon. It won't work. A simple distinction of gedulei karka doesn't work in this case. I need a kal and a chaymer, or a chaymer. Okay. Says the Gemara, that's a good, strong distinction. Kilei keren was never mutter from the moment it was created. There's two ways to look at it. That's what I asked him in the corner over there. How do you look at kilei kerem? Is it from the moment it starts sprouting and that becomes asur, and from that moment it was always asur? Or I look at the seeds, and I say the seeds used to be mutter. Says the Gemara, from over here I see that I look at the seeds themselves, and I say the seeds used to be mutter, and the seeds today are asur b'hana. So something changed in the seeds. They had a shasa kosher, they were mutter on Sunday. On Tuesday, when I put them into the ground, the seeds themselves became asur. Just like basar b'chalav. The actual seeds became asur. And these seeds were 100% mutter to eat, each one individually. When you put them in the ground, they became asur. Ask the Gemara, but wait a minute. Is that true that the seeds become asur? I'll prove to you they don't become asur. Mazar of Shmaya bar Zeira, that's it. Okay, so we're done. Basically, we're done with the sugya of me'atzad and all these limudim. Now we're moving on to much easier stuff. Huh?
When it takes root. That's a shosha.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm throwing it in there, whatever. Yeah, a few moments later. Ask the Gemara, Mazar of Shmaya bar Zeira. Hamavir otzitz nakuv bekerem. Let's see this for a second. These seeds are mutter. Puts the green seeds in. Okay. Let's see that Rosh Noam. Oh, The wheat grows in the vineyard. Okay? So if this guy takes his pot, and the bottom of the pot has a giant hole in it where it could nurse from the ground, it gets nourishment from the ground, and it grows a sliver in that pot. How much is a sliver? 1/200th. Only if it added 1/200th, it becomes aser. The actual seeds don't become aser. It's whatever was added becomes aser. So you see, seeds don't become aser. So Amar Abaya, let's make a distinction. Trei Kroy Ksivi, there's two psukim. Ksiv pen Tigdash Hamaleya. That Hamaleya, interesting. I don't know if anybody ever paid attention to this word. Pen Tigdash Hamaleya means to be full. That whatever grows in the future becomes aser, becomes kaddish, becomes aser. Uchsiv Azera, on the other hand, it says that the actual seed becomes aser. So which one is it? What you added be'isr, or even the seed to begin with? Okay, it's that Zeruami Karoi Bash Rasha. When you put the seed into the ground, so the seed itself becomes aser when it takes root. Like we saw in the video, it turns red, the seed itself turns red. Zerua above, but if you come with a planter, you come with something that's already growing, and you brought it into the vineyard, then only what he added on later becomes aser, and if not, not. Says the Gemara, brand new sugya. Rabbi Isai, it's time to wake up now. Oh, no, say it. No, the kinderlich part. Masnis in the loike haitana. What does it say in our Mishnah? And everybody's aware of this. Basa b'chalav is also b'achila and also b'hana. We have a mandama that says it's not also b'hana. The sign Rabbi Shimon ben Yudai, remember Rabbi Shimon? Basa b'chalav also b'achila umutter b'hana. It's mutter to benefit from it. Shenemar. Kiam Kodesh Ata, it uses the word Kodesh. V'nem ala alon, by Treifa it also says, we had this limud yesterday, V'anchi Kodesh Tiyuni, by Treifa, it says the word Kodesh. Mal alon, os b'achilu mutar b'hana, if you have a Treifa. Baruch Hashem. I mean, we wouldn't be eating kosher meat right now if Treifa was also b'hana. Because 30% of animals today are Treif according to our standards. What can you do with it? What, take a $2,000 animal, throw it out in the garbage? You have to sell it to the non-Jew and get your $2,000 back. And like, I mean, you take a little bit of a loss, it's not so geschmack, and that's why kosher meat costs a lot of money, but it would be impossible to eat kosher meat if this halacha didn't exist. And says that what, you're allowed to benefit from a treifa. You open up an animal, you see that there's a hole in the heart, you sell it to a non-Jew. It's mutabana. So therefore, since we share the same word, kodesh, so by bas v'chalav, afkan also b'achilo mutabana. Great. Rabbi Kiva Oimer Chayev. Kiva says that, a wild animal like a deer and a bird, the bas v'chalav is not their rice. Rabbi say chicken is what's the isser to eat chicken with meat, with dairy? Chicken with dairy, schnitzel sandwich with a geschmacka. Parmesan. Cooked in butter schnitzel. What's this, sir? The rice, the rabbanon. What's this, sir? Huh? What's the machlekes? Okay, Shamshi says machlekes. If you say machlekes, you're gonna have to tell me what the machlekes. You say machlekes, or you want him to say it? No, what's machlekes? Ooh, how do you know that? You did the sugi before? We learned it already. So it goes mikatza l'katzas and smack in the middle. Either it's 100% mutter, no isidra about or nothing. You go into a restaurant, eat it l'chatchila, or 100% usr, or smack in the middle, it's isidra abana, not the rice and not mutter. So says the Gemara, Hani apkinu l'kiddushmo. So it's very, very simple. Over here it's all. Look at these three limudim. We know the Torah says it 3 times. It says Rabbi Kiva comes to exclude a deer, comes to exclude a bird, and it comes to exclude horse's milk and meat is not a problem of basa b'chalav. Says the Gemara, I don't understand. If you all remember from yesterday, we had Shmuel that started off like this. Remember, he had all these limudim, the red and the green. Then we took the red and the green and we combined them together and we did something like this. We said, these two guys go together and this and the Bekitzer, we got all the way to a point where we have 3 limudim. The Eli Stefansky comes to include the fat of an animal. If you take the fat of a cow, which is also for you to eat, there's some fats you're mutter, some are also. The ones that are also, you take it and you cook it in milk, basar b'chalav. The other limud is, it doesn't apply to a horse. And the third limud is that a baby goat, a baby cow, that's a ben pekua in the mother, there's an isser to cook with milk. Ask the Gemara, if I'm learning these 1, 2, 3, Shmuel's 1, 2, 3s, how does Rabbi Akiva have room for his 1, 2, 3? How does this work? How do you have extra place? Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why. Because if you look closely, I don't need a pasuk for number 1. What's number 1? You have a piece of fat, a piece of chaylev, you're not allowed to cook it with milk. What's the chiddush? Of course you can't cook it with milk. It's meat. Elamai, the chiddush is, what's the chiddush? Isser chalal isser. How do you add a second isser to one isser that already exists? And the answer is, because he holds isser chalal isser. So if you hold isser chalal isser, I didn't need a pasuk for that. Anything you want to add Yom Kippur to that, so you add another isser to it. You want to add the Shabbos, whatever you want to add. You want to add basar b'chalav to chaylev, it works, why not? I don't need a pasuk to tell me that it works. That's number 1. And number 3, to tell me that a baby is also basar b'chalav, why not? It's a baby. Why is it not a cow? Why is it not a goat? So I don't need 1 and 3. 2 anyways he uses, look, 2, Rabbi Akiva uses prat l'tmeya, it's number 3 on this one, but it's number 2. And Mela, I have 2 extra ones. Says the Gemara, because Rabbi Akiva is a chalal isser. First of all, he holds is a chalal isser. Therefore, chaylev u'meisel etzirich kra. I don't need number 1 at all to tell me that you're over in a second isser. Shlil, a ben pekua, gdima aliyeh. It's a regular piece of meat. Why wouldn't it be aser? Yajru lekulu, right? We did have in the sugi of ben pekua that interesting thing that you're allowed to eat a shlil with butter. We had that shita. Interesting thing. Okay, but he holds that it's a regular animal. Mela, I don't need a pasuk for it. Yajru lekulu, all 3 are extra. Prat l'chaya, v'oif, l'pei v'tmeya. And therefore, I'm left with these 3 limudim that the meat of a deer together with milk is not aser. The meat of a bird is not aser. The meat of a treifa, you're not over on basar b'chalav. Rabbi Yosef Gli lo'im and nemar lo yisoichlu. What? Tmeya. I said treifa, tmeya, a non-kosher animal. Rabbi Yosef Gli lo'im and nemar lo yisoichlu. And therefore, Rabbi Yosef Gli learns that anything that's also b'isser nevela is also to do bishul basar b'chalav. At the end of the day, comes out that a bird doesn't have nevela, so a bird, there's no isser basar b'chalav. Isn't that the same thing that Rabbi Akiva just said, that a bird, there's no isser basar b'chalav? What's the difference between the 2? There is, yeah, you're right, in a bird there's no difference, but the difference is in the chaya. The difference is in a deer. That Rabbi Akiva says that it's only a derabanan, and Rabbi Yosef says no, it's the deraisa to cook a deer's meat, venison, together with milk. The difference is the bird. Rabbi Akiva is the middle ground. A bird schnitzel with butter with parmesan is awesome in the rabbanon. There's nothing. Check this out. The 3 shitas in chicken.
I just like some polka milk. Breakfast cereal will be enough for me.
Hello, I am here on behalf of the Beis Din headed by Tanakama. You have just violated a dehoreise isur of eating poultry and dairy.
Sir, I am an emissary of the Bet Din of Rabbi Akiba. You have just violated a derabanan prohibition.
It's only derabanan. Makas Mardus!
Jesus Christ.
Hello, I am from the Bet Din of Rabbi Yoshi Hagliri.
broken arm.
Why did you come? What do you want? Nothing. I just want to eat with you.
All right, Zok to Gemara. Oh, I got it at the time. Story time. And Asher wasn't even involved in that whole thing, I don't think. Listen. You know what I see? I learned the big thing. We have a big part of our share that never watches any clips, any TV, nothing. This is their only entertainment. This is the first time. Their mom is like, wow, this is unbelievable. Tani Namehachi. There's a machlokes. There's a big machlokes. If you perform a bris milah on Shabbos, what do you have to do with it? You're a mile or something, David?
Sorry.
Are you? No. Okay. I don't know why.
Not in this life.
Not in this one. I'm not gonna. This is like achana l'mitzvah. What's greater, the mitzvah, the achana l'mitzvah? The achana l'mitzvah over here to cut down a tree on Shabbos. Lasis pchamim to cut down the tree to make coals. Lasis barzel to fashion a knife to make metal, a metal knife. On Shabbos, we hold you not allowed to, but they hold you are. They would eat in the whole city. They would eat schnitzel with parmesan. I don't know if you remember. We'll say Shalom Aleichem to some of the guests. Who else do we have here? What's your name? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. From where?
White Plains.
White Plains. Shalom Aleichem. How you doing? Yeah?
My son sent an email a few weeks ago from Camp Simcha,
Jojo.
He forgot to say his name, and since I was visiting Israel, I said I'll come by and
Wow.
say it.
Says he can't Simcha. How's he doing? He needs a refuah shleima.
Absolutely.
What's his name again?
Yosef Eliezer.
Yosef Eliezer ben
Chana Edel.
Aviva Chana Edel. Wow, refuah shleima. How old is he?
He's 15 and a half.
Wow. Jojo! Refuah shleima. Unbelievable. Okay, shkoyach for coming. You were able to get away, huh?
Yeah. I came for my sister-in-law's shleishim, so.
Oy vavoy. How old was she?
She was 15.
Wow.
She also had
Cancer.
cancer.
All right, refuah shleima. Klal Yisrael, huh? What's your name? No, you, yeah.
His brother, Schneier.
Schneier. 1 minute, you took the name, so what's your name? Mendel? What? Somebody wrote in, they didn't realize I was talking, they wrote in and goes, I think I have to leave the shir. He eats chal vacuum. I don't eat chal vacuum, shtusim. I eat chal stam only. I don't. Listen, everybody has Yetzer Hara. Everybody has Yetzer Hara. What are you going to do? Yeah, what's your name? Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From? Montreal. You go to that pizza shop guy, the guy with the falafel?
Pizza.
What's his name?
Pizza Pita.
That's what it's called? How do you know?
I'm from Montreal.
Also?
Originally.
Wow. That's what it's called? Okay. He has like a salad location there. Who else? What's your name?
Yehuda Gabriel.
From?
Monsieur Matashkal.
Wow, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Do you remember, yeah, let me show you this video because we didn't, I took out a video or two over here because I didn't like it so much. I'm going to show you this one. I'm going back to this
What's up,
sugya.
guys? Welcome back to the Menachem Donald Yosef channel. Today, we are
Menachem, here you
attempting
see?
the arrow slaughter challenge straight out of the Jemoireh. So, what do we have here? A kit with 3 arrows. Interesting. Let's check it out.
I'd rather like
All
this
right,
one.
arrow number 1 is designed to scatter sand for the Kisui Hadom. Amazing. Works like a charm. Now for arrow number 2, it's perfectly sharp, 0 flaws, and 100% kosher for shechita.
Boom! Looks like a hit. Yes, yes, yes. I love it.
And now we're sending the camera arrow to get a close-up of the hit and make sure the socket didn't get stuck mid-neck, because it's halada.
Halada.
Wait, what is that? What am I even looking at right now? Where's the pigeon?
Are you crazy? What do you think you're doing? Shooting arrows in the middle of a hiking trail? Throwing sand around, knives? I'm calling the police. Get out of here.
All right, guys, it's an absolute mess over here. I gotta fly. Peace.
I love it. Bendy, you chap? The guy has 2 hours in his head. He has tinus on him that he's making a mess. It's moirdik in the Welt. I'm trying to say, this is the sugya over there, that Yosef Rishba used to be able to shoot animals in mid-flight.
Esav Arasha did that, way before
Okay.
Yosef Rishba.
Yes, but this is, we know somebody, we have pictures of him, we have videos. We don't have videos of Esav. Yeah, no, here, we have pictures. All right, I call upon him. So, Levi Yikla Lebei Yosef Rishba. He goes to this Yosef Rishba, the hunter. Aitul Kamei Reisha the Tafsa B'Chalava. What's a Tafsa? L'chayra, Tafsa is this unbelievable creature. It's like not shaykh, the beauty of this thing, right?
Got one walking around in front of the bar.
Really?
Really? Yeah, man. Cool. Send pictures.
It's like, it's just, it almost doesn't make sense that this thing exists.
It's opened up.
It's just a beautiful, it opened up?
It's opened up.
It's the whole thing. Okay. So there's a whole shaila, if it's kosher or not kosher, nidan, ayin sham. I just told my chavrusa, he liked this, he was mamish up his alley, so I had to tell it to him. Because Rashi says over here, what's a tavas? He says, check this out, tavas, phones. I said, it's like a kosher phone and a non-kosher phone. It says over here, it's one of your top 10. Because every day we talk about kosher phone, non-kosher phone. That's it, that, and I'm not going to say the other things that we go through. There's a list of 3-4 things that we argue about every single day, and then here you go. There's a nida, and if it's kosher or not, here, mamish mefurish. Zog the Gemara. So they give him a head of some sort of bird called a tafsa in milk. So obviously, what is he? There's 3 shittas over here. We just saw the 3 shittas. What does he hold like? Why don't you put him in chayr? What kind of chutzpah is this? We don't eat chicken with milk. He lives, this hunter lives in Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira's place. And I thought to myself, he was like, a bird is not in the category of a chalev aim, doesn't have mother's milk, and memela, it's 100% mutter. Says the Mishnah, Kevas nochri v'shel nevela. So in the English art scroll, the Rashi says over here, what's keva? This is chalav karish, this is congealed milk. Looks something like this. So the art scroll in English calls it rennet. I like rennet. We could go with rennet, but the Hebrew doesn't seem to talk about rennet. It just says it's congealed milk. Okay, so let's call it rennet. I like rennet. The rennet, not the intestines called keva, but the rennet of the intestines. What does that mean? So the way it works is, how do you make cheese? You take a piece of kishka like this, and that has enzymes in it, and that starts the process. It's a chemical process that takes milk and makes it into cheese. That's keva. That's actually the intestines. You take a little bit kishka, and then whatever you do, and then you're able to, but you saw over there, he didn't put the whole kishka in there. He put the enzyme part of it, and then it becomes cheese. Now what if you put the actual kishka inside? That's much worse. Why is that worse? Because now it's nice and tam. It gives flavor. If the actual kishka gives flavor, that could be problematic, the Mishnah says. So first the Mishnah starts off, if you get this rennet from a goy, or that of an animal that died without shchita, harezu asura. So the Gemara is going to ask right away, every time you buy a dead animal from a goy, it's an avela. So what's the difference? An animal of a goy and avela, it's one and the same. Every goy animal is an avela. They're not allowed to shecht an animal. So let's say they did shecht it, they didn't shecht it. It doesn't matter. If you buy halal, it's for us considered an avela. So what's the 2 things? Goy and an avela. Goy is an avela. Huh? That's later on.
Maybe a treifa, the version you started with the treifa that you sold to the guy. He owns the kosher meat issue.
We're gonna see. It's the opposite. It started out by the guy, but he sold it alive to the Jew. The Gemara says that's one answer. You actually bought an animal from a guy. You're still not able to use the rennet because he might have non-kosher milk in him. Hamamid ba'or shel keva. Like this video that we just saw, he takes the actual piece of the intestines and puts it in the bowl. Ksheira. Shekeva ksheira, the keva is kosher. Now we have a problem with basar b'chalav. It depends. Im yesh b'nois ta'am. If it gives off flavor, harei asura. Let me ask you a question. If you didn't learn the sugya, answer. If you learned the sugya, please don't. Why is it a problem? Isn't it cold and cold? Cold rennet in cold, or cold intestine in cold milk. Why is it a problem? Kavosh. Why is it kavosh? It's considered pickled because it's there for a long time. If you let it sit there for hours, it becomes kavosh. And kavosh has a halacha of mevushal. It's as if it is hot. I just want to point out, I'm not going to go into this whole Rashi, but Rashi starts off saying, top Rashi, you have this milk that you found that's congealed in this the hide of the stomach. You use the actual hide. He says 3 lines down. It's mamish isur gomer kibasa b'chalav mamish. It's mamish 100% basa b'chalav. Less agvina isur gomer. But this is what I want to point out in Rashi. many lines down, probably 30 lines down. Rashi says, Maridik Alashon, V'toya hayisi bekach, shayisi savor midamrinu b'avidazar gavi keva soil l'kayim. B'kitzur, I made a big mistake in this. I have complete charata for my mistake. I'm being mefaris and barabim. I'm telling the world, I made a mistake, and it's 100% asur gomer, bas b'chalav. Why Rashi went, sometimes you saw in the Gemara, he says, Tosha Marti, Tosu B'yadchem, Mashra Marti, Tosu B'yad, whatever the Lashon is. Here you see Rishonim, Rishon, everything that we learned, Chumash, Gemara, all Rashi, the Torah you see. Maybe they wanted to prevent somebody from making a mistake, thinking that Rashi wants paskin that it's okay. So you should know, I take it back completely. Whatever it is. Huh? How was he nichshal? Yeah, I don't know. And Rishonim don't make mistakes. Rishonim usually don't make mistakes. Okay. I don't know that he ate it. He passed that it's awesome. He passed you could eat it. I don't know that he actually physically ate it. Says the Gemara. Listen to this halacha. This is reverse on reverse. Counterintuitive. Ksheira, if you have a kosher animal that has inside it a non-kosher product. Why? Because it nursed from a treif animal. Kevas asura, the rennet is asur. It's a kosher animal. But where did it get the rennet from? Where did it produce it from? From a treifa. This brings up many issues. Now, boys, think about it for a second. Every milk that we drink, guaranteed, if 30% of the animals are treif, so 30% of your milk is treif milk. How do you drink milk, b'chlal? So they say it's not really 30%, we're super machmer, and da-da-da. Okay, it's 10%. If it's 30%, you don't have bittul b'shishim. So there's a nidan in it. Some people don't drink milk. But what about the reverse? You have an animal, a kosher animal, but it's treif, it has a hole in the heart. And they drink a lot of kosher milk. Kebas mutaris, the rennet is mutar. Because it's considered gathered in its stomach, in its intestines. And Mamela, it's an entity of its own. We don't consider the milk treif, like the mother. It's in its own little bottle in its stomach. Ankor Healthcare, as Chos for Klal Yisrael, the Selel, Shmuel Ahova Schuster, as Chos for Yimadin, Adar Global Specialist in International Financial Services, Tzvi Lebedikin, Zech Nishmas Elio Beryl Ben Shmuel Chaim. Zok the Gemara. How long are we in this? Wow. Otu Kevas Nochri Lav Nevelihi. I don't understand the two concepts. Nochri and Nevela. Nochri is Nevela. Omer Abuna, Achabeli Kech. Now go asking, we're talking about somebody purchased a a live goat, a Jew who purchased a live goat from a guy, we're concerned that the live goat drank milk from another kosher animal, but the kosher animal's treif. Ask the Gemara, are we concerned for such a thing? But now, you could buy from an Arab. Sometimes the Arabs sell eggs. It's not a great idea because it has a bunch of salmonella and stuff. They're like, no, seriously, they get like these diseased eggs and they sell them, off market. Yeah.
They keep them outside.
They keep them outside or refrigerated. Not a good idea. So you're permitted halachically to buy from them. I'm not concerned that he took it from a dead animal. Imagine a dead chicken. He chops open the thing, plucks out a couple of eggs. Mamish from the nevela and a treifa. How come over here we're concerned that the animal drank from a treifa animal? I'm concerned that in the farm there's a little chazer running around and a nurse from the chazer. But what's the difference? Maybe a nurse from a treif animal, maybe a nurse from a chazer. From a pig is so chayshish. There's a lot of, in the barn, there's a lot of tummy animals, there's not a lot of treif. I guess in the time of the Gemara, not a lot of treifs. Maybe even nowadays, not a lot of treif. We're makbid. We're makbid on like, what's treif? We have a sircha, this and that, but doesn't really mean, a sircha doesn't mean it's treif. It's stuck, the long stuck, it's a raya, it's not 100%. Ishchicha. But if it's common, this non-kosher animal, maybe a pig from the next door neighbor jumped in here and they drank its milk. Says Gemara, we're very careful from davar acher, from chazer, or any other tummy animal. I saw videos we would learn once. You see like random animals. You see like a cow standing, and a pig will walk over to the cow and start nursing the cow, and the cow doesn't chap. Animals share, like they go to other animals. You'll see it. We distance ourselves from the chazer. There's no reason to be geyser. But a non-Jew, he doesn't care about the chazer. He doesn't even care if one of these chazerim walk in this barn. We have to be careful. Shmuel says no. When the Mishnah says nevela, nachri, and nevela, it's not two separate cases. It's one. We're talking about the intestines, the rennet of a guy's nevela. As the Gemara Shmuel says, what's the problem with non-kosher cheese? The problem is that they use the physical kishka to make the rennet. But the rennet itself, sharia, it's only the oir, it's only the physical part, not the enzyme. Like Ashi. You're going to see this again tomorrow, I guess we'll stop here. The Rabbi Yeshua retracted what he said. Before, he said that the actual rennet is considered nevela. So he said it's nevela, it's also. But once he took it back, he retracted, so the rennet itself is not nevela, it's mutter. A boy say, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.